welcome to Tustin Unified. We have been in, first we had a workshop on how to use a new online agenda, and then we were in closed session. We've been here since 4:15. And so I'm calling our open session to order. Is Luke Julian here from Beck? Please come forward and help us with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Hello. Will everyone please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'm coming forward for board. We're starting with water. Okay, the Foothill High School water polo team. JJ, please come forward as I call your name. JJ Hornecker. No? Joe Molina and Zane Scott, freshman. Jack Denny. Arash Izadamesh. Sachin Okuma. Nolan Ortega, sophomores. Griffin Gorin, Chaz Hornecker, Bobby Lee, Mikey Miller, Nikolai Prawn, Cole Snyder, all juniors, Skylar Shunovi, Billy Cranshaw, Austin O'Donohue, Tyler Pylon, Brett Childs, Gavin Scott, and Anthony Vega, seniors. Coach Jim Brum, Foothill High School boys water polo. They have won the 2014 CIF Southern Section Water Polo Championship. Foothill finished the season with a record of 25 wins and 6 losses and secured its first CIF title since 2008. This is Foothill's third CIF Water Polo Championship under Coach Brum's leadership. The team also won the championship in 1995.
Shout out for Becky Brum. She's the team mom. Just a shout out for her.
And the other half of the coaching team at Foothill High School, the team mom and longtime teacher at Foothill High School, Becky Brum.
more.
That's right. We're glad you came.
Good job, guys. Good job, Coach.
Yeah, that way. Is Greg giving out the? Okay. Got that? Okay. We have not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 Eagle Scouts this evening. Justin, please come forward as I say your name. Justin Chang and Andrew So, juniors. Sean Ewing, Luke Julian, and Samuel Yang, all from Beckman High School, who are receiving the Eagle Scout Award. It is the highest order in scouting. Only 2% of Boy Scouts attain Eagle rank. They are members of Boy Scout Troop 1518. As I read through this, remember that they do these projects for Eagle Scout all by themselves, literally. Raise the money, get the team together to help them, and they have to do extensive documentation, and it is a very long and arduous process. As the mother of an Eagle Scout, I can attest to that. Sean has been, which one is Sean? Okay. Sean's been in scouting for 7 years, and he did a bookshelf project at Heidemann Elementary School. Luke has been in scouting about 8 years, and he served as patrol leader and many other positions. He's a varsity swimmer, secretary of GSA at Beckman, and has been recognized twice as the Early College Student of the Year. For his Eagle Scout project, Luke built 4 equipment storage boxes for Beckman Aquatics. Justin. Justin has been in scouting for 11 years, starting in Cub Scouts. And he has been the librarian, den chief, patrol leader. He is a group leader for the Beckman Science Research Program and participated in the Solar Energy Activity Lab, which is a joint research program with Caltech and Concordia. He volunteers at Discovery Science Center Cube each week. For his Eagle Scout project, Dustin built a lost and found section, ball organizer, and shelves for a PE closet at Beswick Elementary School. Andrew has been involved in scouting also for 11 years. He's been patrol leader, leave no trace leader, instructor for Life Scouts. At Beckman, he's on the Honor Roll, Chess Club, Inventa Team, California Scholarship Federation swim team, and United Nations clubs. He volunteers at Western Med. For his Eagle Spot project, Andrew built 7 banner fixtures and hand-painted banners for Jubilee Presbyterian Church. Samuel, must be, okay. He's been in scouting for 10 years. He's also been senior patrol leader and librarian. He's a Boys State nominee, president of Beckman Science Olympiad, principal's exemplary honor roll, and swim team. For his Eagle Scout project, Samuel constructed a wooden kiosk for Ladera Elementary School. The kiosk is used for the sale of food items to students and their families to raise money for the Ladera Parent-Teacher Organization. Congratulations. The one and only Dinosaur Dash Committee. Please come forward as I say your names. Jonathan and Lori Abalov, Dave Albus, Tamis Berkheimer, Margaret Che, Doug Davert, Cindy DeBerry, Kathy Ellis, Debbie Ewing, Tony Faduke, Megan Foss, Kelly Fresh, Tony Fresh, Camille Gershenwitz, Julie Hers, Dave Hunsaker, Sujatu Modi Kamdar, Armin Kamardarian, Marge Kaslak, Bob Machado, Amy Nakamoto, Sissy Oberlin, Bill Peavyhouse, Curtis Rack, Beth Roth, Sue Robichaud, Margie Sepulveda, Paul Wasserman, Bob Wright, and Tom Ziegler. This is to show our appreciation for the dedication and hard work that it took to coordinate the 2014 Dinosaur Dash. The community event is a major fundraiser for the foundation that benefits instructional programs in all schools in Tustin Unified. This year, we had over 7,580 runners, walkers, and cyclists registered for the 10K 5K run, 2K walk, and 15K 50K bike tour. Hundreds of additional volunteers and thousands of spectators enjoyed the festivities on November 2nd at the marketplace in Tustin. The 24th annual Dinosaur Dash raised nearly $200,000. Every school benefits from the proceeds that will be used for educational programs and materials through the foundation's various programs. Tustin Unified wishes to thank the thousands of parents, teachers, administrators, staff, and community members who volunteered and/or participated to help make the Tustin Public Schools Foundation Dinosaur Dash 24 a great community and family event. We commend these outstanding volunteers. Yay, Bob.
And if everything kind of turn towards the center, scooch in a little bit. Well, no, you are the center. Exactly. 1, 2, 3. There's another one. And I know somebody. Can you, no, maybe come over this way a little bit. So I can see you a little bit more. And I can't see your face. There you are. That's good. That's good. Okay, here, we'll do this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to call Margie up. All right. Well, I would like to invite Tustin Public Schools Foundation President Margie Sepulveda to come forward for a special presentation.
Well, thanks to the hard work of all those wonderful. My principal, I was going to say, thanks to all the hard work of those wonderful volunteers we just recognized, I'm pleased to present a check for $126,742 tonight. These funds were raised through the Dinosaur Dash and other fundraising. This donation includes grants to each of the school libraries to purchase new books. It also includes funds for basketball at all 6 middle schools. And if you'd like to catch them in action, they have a festival on February 11th at Curry from 9 to noon. We're also pleased to support the new District Robotics League with a $10,000 donation, and they're having their activity, their first event, on Thursday, January 15th, 4 o'clock at Pioneer. Our donation also includes grants to all 28 Tustin Unified School District schools for their participation in the Dash, and classroom grants in just about every subject in Tustin Unified. And if you want to read about those grants, they're on our website. The foundation will continue awarding grants to you and will return later in the year with additional donations. So, you know, it pays to participate in activities with Tustin Public Schools Foundation.
You have to scooch over this way a little bit so you're centered. Yeah, if you can hang on with your left hand. Okay, move this way, 1, 2, 3. Let me see if I got a glare on the. Can you tilt the check down a little bit? Yeah, that should be. Let's try this. Oh, what, okay, great. One more, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I'd like to invite Debbie Ewing for the Assistance League. She is the Assistance League of Tustin president. She's coming forward for a special presentation.
And I would like to introduce Assistance League President-elect Jennifer Van Heining to my right, and Public Relations and Marketing Chair Susie Fulton to my left. So we also have a very heavy check. I'm glad I'm in the middle speaking and not holding it. This particular check is for $19,211.23 to the Tustin Unified School District for Project Today. Project Today is an intervention and education program that Assistance League of Tustin manages in partnership with the Tustin Unified School District for middle and high school students identified with behavioral or mental health issues, or for those suspended for first-time drug or alcohol possession at a school event or school on campus. Assistance League of Tustin also provides TUSD middle and high schools with free drug kits, which are available to students and parents. Those are drug test kits. Yes, clarification. So I've been invited also to talk a little bit about Assistance League. So I won't be very long, but as with many of the nonprofits in the local community, sometimes we feel like the best kept secret in town. So we're trying to talk a little bit more about who we are and what we do. So Assistance League of Tustin is a 501c3 corporation, and we're a chapter of National Assistance League. We were founded here in Tustin in 1962 and chartered as Assistance League in 1965, so we're 50 years old. We currently have over 500 members, including 280 assist teens, who are teens in 8th to 12th grade, and 2 of them are in front of me. Kishani and Elizabeth are both assist teens. Assistance League of Tustin's mission is to put caring and commitment into action through community-based philanthropic programs. In addition to Project Today, which the check is for, key programs, and most of these we do work directly with the Tustin Unified School District, include Operation School Bell, where we provide new school uniforms to over 1,000 TUSD elementary school kids, and new in this last few years, school-appropriate shopping for over 130 middle and high school students who are either homeless or are in non-permanent living quarters. And those 2 programs together are over $95,000 that we've spent so far this year. Outdoor education, we provide loaner jackets and sleeping bags and give warm hats and gloves to 5th grade children in Tustin Unified who need these items to attend their outdoor science school field trip. Children's dental health, we partner with dentists to screen and provide dental education to over 2,000 K through third graders at 6 TUSD Title I schools. We have an SAT prep review class, which provides low-cost SAT classes taught by Tustin Unified teachers. We also have programs including Hearts of Hope and Buddy programs, where we partner with local shelters, and we provide friend support for kids. This is a big assist teen program at the Blind Children's Learning Center, Cranbrook Senior Living. We also work with children with physical and developmental challenges through several sports programs. Assistance League of Tustin funds these programs by operating a thrift shop in Old Town Tustin, just about 2 blocks away from where we are now. Our sales are almost $250,000 a year. We're about to remodel the facility to increase our retail square footage and hopefully gain more sales, allowing us to help more people. The thrift shop also serves as a program since it allows people to purchase high-quality clothing at very low prices. It's managed and operated by Assistance League member volunteers. So I always end by saying, how can you help? You can donate good quality used clothing, houseware, or gift items, and help us make money to serve the community. Many in this room do already do that, I'm sure. You can shop at our thrift shop for all of the above. You can let others know about us. And if you're looking for a place to make a difference in the local community, consider becoming a member of Assistance League of Tustin. Thank you.
Can you lower your side down just, oh, great. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One more. Got it, thank you.
Thank you very much, both to TPSF and to the Assistance League. I am always amazed how many wonderfully, just the volunteers that we have in Tustin that help make it a very special place. So thank you to all. Okay, if you look over to our board, our Salute to Schools program, we have Red Hill Elementary School for January and February. Their theme is Rigorous Rockets to Success. And our board displays a variety of student work and photos featuring academics, the arts, and school activities. For viewing dates and times, call 730-7339. And I believe the principal of Red Hill is here. Would you like to say a few words? I would, if you like. Yes.
Can you hear me now? Yes. We're good. Good evening, President Cento, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, and district staff members, as well as the audience. I'm Will Netterson, the proud principal of Red Hill Elementary School. I'm joined by our Student Council President, Allison Barrett, and our Vice President, Roman Marchetti. Thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share about the rigorous work taking place to ignite our students' learning at Red Hill Elementary School. The word rigorous means to do an action strongly. Another meaning of the word is to do an action carefully with a lot of attention to detail. Red Hill staff and the community focus on giving all of our attention to the detail of our students' learning. Our goal is to provide a learning experience that is rounded not only in the core academic areas, but allows our students to apply their learning through various experiences on and off the campus. Before you captures a glimpse of what our Rockets are experiencing at Red Hill. As learning needs to be differentiated for our Rockets, we wanted to use a few of Dr. Kaplan's depth and complexity thinking prompts to frame our work. You'll notice a small pair of lips up in the corner over there. Of one section referring to the language of the discipline. Two key phrases for Red Hill's design of our academic discipline is problem solving and balanced literacy. We want students to leave Red Hill being able to analyze, evaluate, and apply what they've learned to problems that may surround them currently, as well as what will be in their future. We are building these skills through the instruction of rigorous standards supported with technology. Red Hill's instructional practice for English language arts has transitioned towards balanced literacy. Red Hill staff has brought reading and writing workshop into the class to build our students' confidence and abilities in reading and writing. The next thinking prompt has us reflect on some big ideas or happenings on our campus. It's important to discuss enriching activities supported by our PTA and community and parent volunteers. I think it's best to have Roman discuss these activities that our students enjoy.
I look forward to every Thursday because it is Fit Thursday. All 1st through 5th graders participate in Fit. Fit gets students active and moving while we learn new games and use different fitness equipment. We have 2 PE teachers who work with parent volunteers to organize many different fitness activities. Some of my favorites are scooter ball, basketball, and dodgeball. I also really enjoy our free play days because all of the equipment we have been using is out for students to use. It is also great to see who will be our fitness fanatics for the week. We also have a garden that everyone gets to explore. I have been going to the garden since kindergarten. I like being able to plant and see what happens in nature. After everyone plants, we care for our boxes and observe the environment. I tend to look for insects in the garden. We also get to harvest and eat what we planted. The vegetables become a salad that is delicious and healthy. Art Masters allows us to be creative. We attend an assembly where you learn about an artist and their particular style or approach to their art pieces. We then get to try to create our own art pieces with the style or approach of the artist. Parents come into our classroom to lead the class. Like you can see in our samples, we can try to paint cactus and horses like Remington, or create an underwater scene like Matisse. In Art Masters, you don't have to be the best artist, but you can have fun trying out art.
We are encouraged to look at things. We are learning through multiple perspectives. In social studies, we are asked to think about what it might have been like while the Native Americans lived either locally or throughout the United States. I enjoyed being a part of Wax Museum, where each 5th grader researches a famous individual who has made an impact on society and becomes that person. Everybody from the school then has a chance to come into the multi-purpose room and learn from us. Since 2nd grade, I have looked forward to the Wax Museum. Field trips also allow us to explore history. It is a fun way to take in what we learn and go outside of the textbook. As scientists, we participate in many hands-on units to help us understand concepts. I really enjoyed being able to build a circuit to conduct electricity from a battery. This year is going great as we are studying the human body. We had to try and pump as much water or blood as the heart does in 30 seconds. It was fun, but helped us learn how amazing our heart is. Students also get to attend field trips or assemblies that help us teach us more about science as well. Red Hill has our 3 R's of respect, responsibility, and building relationships. Student Council works to be the leaders on our campus, to promote our 3 R's. Student Council has members who apply to be rocket reinforcers that set positive examples at Red Hill. They hand out cotton yak cards to the primary students who are exhibiting one of the 3 R's at lunch recess. Room representatives keep our students informed of the many different planned activities. We get to enjoy spirit days but also work together to make a difference for our community. Student Council has had toy drives and food drives to support those who do not have things. We know as students we can help out.
As we look at change over time, Red Hill's mission of ensuring that all of our students rocket to success in all we do is remain constant. What is changed over time is the future that we're preparing our students for. The Red Hill staff is committed to developing 21st century skills in each of our classrooms. The learning skills of collaboration, communication, creativity, and critical thinking are key to our instruction, starting in the transitional kindergarten classroom and throughout the rest of our grade levels. Red Hill and its community have rigorous expectations for all of our students. From achieving academically to being respectful, responsible, and building relationships within our community, our students will be able to take these expectations and soar as a rocket to success. Thank you.
Next question.
Thank you very much, Principal Netterson, and all of the teachers and staff and students for creating this wonderful display.
I just had a quick question. Could you tell us briefly, what is it like to lead the flag salute from the roof?
It's coming.
Still coming.
I'm a little nervous about it. Part of my challenge for our Red Hill Rockets and the Dinosaur Dash was if we had 493 individuals that I would lead actually the whole day on top of the roof. So it will start on a Wednesday flag salute day where I will be up on the roof leading our flag salute and then spending the rest of the day on top because our Rockets definitely met that challenge. You set a challenge, they're going to reach it or soar above it. So it's coming.
Please be very careful because we need all our principals.
I promise I will. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are going to have some reports from the high schools, and then after that, we'll take a break for those of you who might want to sneak out. Okay. Superintendent's report, and then the high school reports.
Thank you, Mrs. Cento. I hate following the students. Now, they're a tough act to follow. So, Mr. Netterson, you're second to the students in being tough act to follow. We're real proud of the work that's being done this year. And a lot of the new things that we're doing in Tustin Unified this year have been incorporated into what's called an LCAP, a Local Control Accountability Plan. It's the governor and the state's new way of distributing funds to public schools. And as a requirement to the LCAP, we get input from all of our stakeholders, including students, parents, teachers, administrators, and then make a plan of how do we think we can spend the next new dollar in the most impactful way possible to help students in Tustin Unified. Last year, our plan was put together very ably by Kathy Nielsen, our Chief Academic Officer, and we're starting to see some real gains in our classrooms as a result. We are already beginning the work to plan for next year's Local Control Accountability Plan, and the first meeting was held this past week. Kathy Nielsen facilitated the meeting. I think about 40 people or so representing that same group, students, parents, teachers, and administrators, as well as classified staff, came together to have that discussion. Everybody had a marker in their hand, and there were sheets around the paper, and there was a great deal of discussion and brainstorming about the most effective ways to spend the next new money. I just want to point out that that process that was used at the LCAP meeting is actually based on our interest-based problem solving and interest-based bargaining that we do with our employee group. So that process that has served us well in building our relationships and productive negotiations with employee associations is paying off throughout the district in a number of ways. So we're very eager to see the results of the LCAP. Some of the ideas are already starting to germinate, and follow-up meetings will be happening. And Kathy will be bringing a new LCAP plan with Tony Soria to the board, I believe, in May of this year. So that concludes my report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And on to our high schools. First, we have Hanad Musa from Tustin High School.
Good evening, President Cinto, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district staff, and members of the audience. Tonight it is my pleasure to present the student report for Tustin High School. Tustin High students and staff have been very busy over the past few weeks. Tustin High had a great turnout for our second blood drive this year on December 11th. We took in 140 units of blood, with 45 of those donors being first-time donors. And our next blood drive is scheduled for Wednesday, February 11th. We are proud of our Tiller Jazz Band Orchestra and Choir for working with the Voices of Tustin on a spectacular winter show, and it was definitely one of our holiday favorites. Many of our students also engaged in winter festivities at our winter assembly with a medley of student performances, which was well received by the student body with great spirit. The Tiller Dance Department held their spectacular annual Friends and Family Winter Show that featured a mixture of performances from all male and the girls' dance teams. We would like to commend the dance coaches, Miss Kirsty Nielsen, Miss Kaylee Uribe, and Mr. John Eldenis for on their efforts to making this event a success. In sports news, we saw our boys basketball program succeed in getting first place in the Tustin Estancia Coast Classic during winter break. We're also proud of them for their efforts in winning last Wednesday against the Foothill Knights. Tomorrow, our varsity boys team plays Western at Tustin at 5:30 and Cypress on Friday at 5:30. We're excited for our girls soccer team as this week the girls varsity soccer team plays Cyprus on Friday at 3 p.m. at THS. Over at the swimming pool, don't miss the Tustin girls water polo match tomorrow against Saddleback High at 3 p.m. We also just welcomed back our Model United Nations program, which came back from their 2-week trip to Prague in the Czech Republic, in which they competed at the Prague MUN, and 9 out of 14 of our members there were asked to present, to speak at the closing presentations, and that's like a high honor there since they don't really give out awards. And Tustin High looks forward to seeing the developments of our winter sports teams, such as the Lady Tiller Wrestling Team and their upcoming tournament beginning on January 17th, hosted in Tustin Sports Pavilion, and cheering them on in their efforts. Our Lady Tillers basketball team traveled this weekend to Catalina Island and made their trip worthwhile with a 56-43 win over Avalon High School. Tomorrow they play Western at home at 7 p.m. Once again, our Model United Nations students will suit up and compete at the Mission Viejo Conference this weekend. And finally, we look forward to gearing up for the end of the semester and preparing for finals week. This completes my report for Tustin High. Thank you. Go Tillers.
From Hillview High School, Daniel Richardson.
Good evening, President Cinto, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district staff, and members of the audience. On behalf of the students and staff of Hillview, I would like to wish each of you a Happy New Year. Hillview has applied to be recognized by the California Department of Education as a model continuation high school. Representatives will be visiting our campus tomorrow to verify the items listed in our application. We are in the process of our job shadowing for the second quarter. Students have had the opportunity to observe Tustin police officers, preschool teachers, and nurses. The class of 2015 is looking forward to our next senior activity at Knott's Berry Farm on January 26th. That's all for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. From Foothill High School, Elizabeth Jensen.
Good evening, President Cinto, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district personnel, and members of the audience. The later half of December and the beginning of January have been busy times at Foothill. December 11th played host to Foothill's very own Mr. Foothill pageant, in which our male contestants participated in a Miss America-style competition to win a range of prizes. There was a talent, swimwear, formal wear, and interview portion of the show, and all the students enjoyed watching their peers make a fool of themselves on stage. In December, the winter formal theme was also announced, A Night in Oz, and tickets went on sale. This week is Winter Formal Spirit Week for the Knights, with dress-up days including West Coast Wednesday and Animal Print Friday. Students are looking forward to having a fun and safe night in the Emerald City on Saturday, January 17th. Furthermore, winter sports kicked into high gear within this last month. Girls water polo got second place in their Holiday Cup tournament over break and are ranked extremely high in their league, only losing to rivals Laguna Beach by 1 point, an unprecedented event. Girls basketball is also having a great season, as they have been on a multiple-game winning streak. Their record is 13-2. Girls soccer placed 5th at the recent Excalibur tournament over break as well, and are in the top 10 of the league as they head into league play this coming week. Boys wrestling season is also kicked off, with boys winning several key matches to put themselves towards the top of their league. Boys basketball has also had numerous wins, including notable tournament wins against league teams. They are currently ranked number 3 in the county going into league play. Boys soccer is 6-2-1 so far in their preseason games, got a key victory against competitive Jabrico Hills this week, and played league next week. Our very own Foothill Choir has been a large presence on campus as well this last month. Donned in traditional holiday wear, the Foothill High School Dickens carolers wandered through classrooms singing carols and spreading holiday cheer. These carolers, composed of members from all FHS choirs, could be seen around Tustin at concerts and holiday parties all season. They also had their winter concert on December 16th. More recently, choir held their annual yard sale in the Foothill parking lot as a fundraiser. The Knights Marching Band recently marched in the Pomona Parade as well, and all levels of the band held their winter concert with choir that Tuesday before break. Foothill's cheer team participated in the Desert Oasis cheer competition this last weekend. The girls placed so well in this and other competitions that they have qualified to go to Dallas for nationals at the end of the year. This month has been a month of news for Foothill, including a new year. This month, we welcomed a new Vice Principal, Dr. Nye, and the creation of our very own Genius Bar. The Foothill Tech Club, in its first year of Foothill, It is comprised of a group of tech-savvy knights who are in the library to help students with any computer questions. All in all, it has been a very busy month for the Foothill Knights, between sports, clubs, academics, and more. We look forward to heading to the second semester with finals bright-eyed, especially our seniors. Thank you and good night.
Thank you. From Beckman High School, Bianca Lacavera.
So much shorter than her. Good evening, President Zinto, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district staff, and members of the audience. It is my pleasure tonight to present to you Beckman High School's monthly report. With the start of the new year, Beckman students have come back from break ready to take on exciting challenges and accomplish new goals. Nearly halfway through the school year, the students in school have found a good balance between academics, activities, athletics, and arts. As a reward for the students' academic accomplishments in standardized testing, College Board chose Beckman to take part in the trial for the new version of Ready Step, PSAT, and SAT. So on the first Wednesday back from school, Beckman students trialed the test and were rewarded by College Board with a $25 gift card and free subscription to College Board's website. The first week back brought even more excitement with the Winter Formal Assembly and Jersey Jam, both on Friday. The assembly showcased our talented boys and girls dance teams, cheer, band, flag team, and athletes. And the Jersey Jam successfully helped the students to de-stress from the week. As for the rest of January, Beckman has a busy schedule ahead of it. The Winter Sports League play recently began, bringing with it the Beck Maniacs, who bring tons of excitement to our basketball games. And coming up on January 14th, Beckman will be hosting its second blood drive this school year. In collaboration with Red Cross, Beckman staff and Irvine community members will take part in a priceless form of community service. Also on the 14th, Beckman will host Financial Aid Night, which is welcome to all parents around the district. Later in the month, Beckman's band will participate in the Martin Luther King Parade in Los Angeles, and on January 22nd to the 24th, the Visual Performing Arts Group will be presenting their original play, Antigone. As for the end of the first semester, the students are looking forward to getting finals week over with as soon as possible. But in actuality, the students have been staying true to the academic Beckman spirit and have already started studying. The upperclassmen and link crew leaders have started helping out at tutorials in order to prepare the freshmen for their first ever round of finals. With all the stress that finals week brings, there's still a light at the end of the tunnel, Winter Formal. After finals week, on February 7th, Beckman is hosting its Winter Formal at the Yost Theater in Santa Ana. The dance is aptly themed New Year, New Formal, and is inspired by the New Year's Eve festivities that take place in the Big Apple. As for beyond January, Beckman has big plans for a permanent art gallery that will be located in the newest part of the 200 building. Nicknamed the Hospital Wing by the students, the area is stark white all over and can really use some help from Beckman's artists. So thanks to Ed Fund, students' artwork will be placed along the hallway, with new artwork being showcased each month. In conclusion, Beckman has left behind a successful year with the ambition to have an even greater 2015. Thank you for your time, and go Patriots.
Great. And one more, our student board report, which is from Kashani Hathotuwagama from Foothill High School, who's our student board member this evening.
Good evening, President Sindo, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district staff, and members of the audience. It is my pleasure tonight to present to you the district board report for the month of January, with the focus on health and wellness in TUSD schools. We often begin the new year with resolutions to stay healthy and fit. TUSD has given students many options to keep well this year, including a meatless Monday menu for all of our schools. On average, Americans consume 8 ounces of meat per day, 45% more than the USDA recommends. Meatless Mondays help students reduce their risk of health conditions that stem from consuming too much meat. The elementary and middle school levels will be serving 100% meatless meals on Mondays. At the high school level, students have the option to choose many meatless sides. To further the healthy eating choices in our schools, both Up Middle School and Estock Elementary are piloting the Smarter Lunchroom program. In partnership with Nutrition Services, the Orange County Department of Education, and the Dairy Council, the initiative hopes to teach students to make the healthy choice among the full spectrum of choices in preparation for their lives living away from home. Estock is currently conducting studies on plate waste and testing theories regarding adult influence on kids' fruit and vegetable choices. The lunch staff encourages students to be adventurous eaters by trying out all the healthy foods on their plates. At UT, Nutrition Services will focus on increased student and staff participation in trying new foods. UT was even awarded a grant to incorporate electronic menu boards for a truly smarter lunchroom. In other news, various elementary schools have started their own wellness campaigns to promote both diet and exercise. Vay Elementary has planned a conflict resolution kickoff event that includes the Vay families and all staff on February the 6th. There will be 3 rotations that will address nutrition, yoga, and specific techniques on how to de-stress and resolve conflicts, all great ways to enhance the wellness of the Vay student body. January is also fitness-focused for Loma Vista Elementary. There, teachers provide lessons on what it means to be fit all month long. Students who show effort and stamina toward fitness will be rewarded with Loma Vista Cougar cards. At Arroyo, PE teachers and dedicated parent volunteers put on Fit Tuesdays every week, where students exercise during many fun activities, including a timed mile run. Students who go above and beyond on these days are recognized at flag ceremonies as Arroyo Fitness Fanatics and receive special charms. The Arroyo PTA has planned specialized ways for kids to find their exercise niche during Wellness Week this year. Karate class, tetherball and handball tournaments, a wiffle ball game, a hip-hop dance class, an obstacle course, soccer, kickball, agility ladder conditioning, flag football, yoga, and a runner's club are all great ways the students can exercise during that week. Red Hill also participates in Fit Thursdays. At Red Hill, we also have volunteer parents to supervise and run various activities for the kids. The Red Hill Walking Club, under Principal Will Netterson, has continued its tradition of promoting healthy, doable exercise for students. Students who walk a certain amount of miles receive special foot keychains for completing such an accomplishment. Additionally, the district's Wellness Committee has set goals to make this year a healthier one for all students. These goals include a Wellness Week in April to promote healthy choices. With Wellness Week, the committee hopes to expose students to a variety of different alternatives for staying healthy. Various schools will emphasize the importance of health in student life, and there will be a video contest for all students to compete in. The committee also hopes to complete a wellness page on Haiku for every student to access as a guide to staying fit. This concludes my district board report for the month of January. I hope you all have a great month full of healthy choices.
Thank you very much, Kashani. We're going to take a 2-minute break for those of you who wish to exit early. You are all welcome to stay, of course. Staff response to public comments. Do we have any staff response to public comments? Greg. Superintendent Franklin.
No, not this evening. Thank you.
Okay. Next is TUSD Connect Bright Spots.
So we really wanted to highlight something special we thought happened in TUSD, in large part due to the hard work of Carrie Williams and our other DLCs and, of course, our TUSD teachers. And that was a focus on the Hour of Code, an event that takes place in December, which is focused, if you're not sure about coding, it's really about teaching students to be computer science interested, will we say. So Carrie explains it best, but I wanted to give you it was a huge success, so we wanted to highlight this event.
Thank you for having me. The Hour of Code is an initiative in its second year. It's a global initiative, and we decided in TUSD to roll it out K-12 this year in its second year. It's the second week in December, as you can see the date, and I want to show you a quick video to kind of give you a better understanding of the Hour of Code.
پروگرامی یعقوب من 42 خط کد
Nowadays, just about everything requires some form of programming. So, what is it? Programming is basically explaining to a computer what you want it to do for you.
When you're programming, you're teaching possibly the stupidest thing in the entire universe, a computer, how to do something.
Programming is one of the only things in the world that you can do where you can sit down and just make something completely new from scratch, you know, whatever you want.
It's really not unlike kind of playing an instrument or something, or playing a sport. It starts out being very intimidating, but you kind of get the hang of it over time.
A lot of the coding that people do is actually fairly simple. It's more about the process of breaking down problems than, sort of coming up with complicated algorithms as people traditionally think about it.
Well, if it's fairly simple, why aren't there more of us doing it? Over the next 10 years, there will be 1.4 million jobs in computer science, and only about 400,000 grads qualified for those jobs. That's a shortage of 1 million people. So, how do you start?
This is so cool!
Hour of Code.
The Hour of Code. Todo lo pueden hacer. Ya programmé a code. من 42 خط کد نوشتم.
Your teacher says you guys are into it.
We are. It's very awesome.
The largest education events in history.
Organizers set what they called an ambitious goal of reaching 10 million students this week. Almost 15 million signed up.
This week, I'm proud to join the students, teachers, businesses, and nonprofit organizations taking new steps to support computer science in America's schools.
So we have a very successful haiku site with over 140,000 hits to this site already and counting. Kids are still going on this site this week, over the weekends. It's quite amazing to see. As you can see there, we broke up the grade levels. So each grade level had a different activity. K through 3rd did apps on their iPads, and 4th through 8th grade used self-directed lessons that came straight from the Hour of Code site, code.org. And then when you get to high school, it was, or all of secondary implemented this in their science courses. And high school, we have Python, HTML, and JavaScript that was taught at the high school level. And the beauty of this is that students can navigate their own path through this site. So I saw middle schoolers doing high school curriculum, and I saw, it was quite amazing to see how engaged they were in this curriculum. To the point where we were at Hillview observing a class, and in this one class they needed to complete the certificate before they could move on to something else. And by the time the teacher was done with the directions, we had one student who had the certificate on his screen. So these kids know what they're doing, they're interested, they just need the opportunity to deepen their knowledge, and we are providing it in TUSD. So thank you.
And just to clarify, in that beautiful video, the children using the iPads and the computers, those are our students. So.
Great. The Wall Street Journal ran an article on It's Never Too Late to Learn this week, and at the last thing was learning to code at any age, and apparently you can go to code.org, and they're self-taught. So there's hope for those of you who maybe aren't quite up to snuff just yet. So. Thank you. Next, our agenda is public comments, and this is for anyone in the audience who would like to comment on an item which is not on the agenda. Please come up and fill up a card. We have one. Let's see. Brian Hessler, did you wish to come up? You have. We have 5 minutes for each speaker.
5 minutes?
5 minutes.
I didn't expect a full 5 minutes.
We don't have to take it.
Well, don't take it out of my time. What happened to your arm?
A little bicycling accident in Hanoi.
Hanoi?
Hanoi.
In Vietnam?
Yes.
Wow. Where you were during your spring or your winter break, huh? Okay. I wrote to you, first of all, thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak, President Sinto. I wrote to you today. You wrote to me and I wrote back. There's an ongoing issue with the disparate inequality of the high schools that I'd like to get addressed in some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure that this is the format I came to this meeting 3 months ago about the large disparity in the number of national merit semifinalists. I don't know what the board has done since then, if there's any plan to try to rectify and get a little bit more parity between the schools and how we're going to get from here to there. Obviously, I have a concern with my stepson. I'm his advocate. I'm his only advocate. It's become apparent through the conversations with the district. I am his only advocate, and that's a sad statement. I'm hoping with the email you've sent me that I can reach out to you and we can come up to a solution that works for both of us. I know most of the people in the audience don't know what I'm talking about. For that, I apologize. But more than anything else, I'm trying to come up with a solution. You know, my kid wants to have the opportunity to visit with the recruiters that come from Princeton, Yale, Harvard, UCLA, you name it, and he doesn't get that at Tustin. And obviously the curriculum is different for whatever reason. I'm not here to pass judgment on that. But just like the example you cited of the student that transferred from Beckman, the student to Tustin that had great success, the reverse should be available, and it should have the opportunity to work as well. That's the extent of my comment. And I hope to work with you on the side to try to get this resolved.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else in the audience who wish to address us on an item that is not on tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to discuss. Oh, please come forward and fill out. You can fill out the card after if you like, but state your name at the start.
My name is Rick Malik. First, President Cinto, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district staff, and what's left of the audience. My name is Rick Malik. I am a Myford parent. I have 2 students at Myford, and I wanted to quickly discuss, or at least bring up, the transfer process. Myford students, and I'm speaking for my son as well as other students, I feel that Myford is one of the few schools in the district where the students get split when they go to middle school. I'm citing Hicks as the alternative example. So the Hicks students today all go to Orchard. Myford students get split between Orchard and Pioneer based on the boundary, which is basically the Myford school. My son was a fourth grader last year. He wanted to go to 5th grade in Orchard with the rest of his friends because his friends were in the opposite area, but they all got split. And I know last year Orchard was closed for transfers for 5th grade. So he's a 5th grader this year. Fortunately, a second alternative for him was to stay at Myford, where there were, a couple of his friends. He struggled this year because a lot of his friends have left. And what I'm asking for, I know that there is a hierarchy of transfer priorities, siblings, and other things that you guys take into consideration, and then everyone else gets put into a lottery. And what I am asking is that the Myford students get preference over other students from other schools when it comes to Orchard, because they're the ones that are getting split in reference to whatever priority that goes along. Of course, siblings probably will take priority over that, but that's what I'm asking for. I've had conversations with some members of the staff, and they've been very helpful in answering my questions, but I did want to bring it to the board meeting and just address. Hopefully you guys can address this situation. I believe you're talking about inter and intra-district transfers. I saw it on the agenda for later. Whether that's closed session, I wasn't sure, but that's basically what I wanted to bring up.
Okay, thank you. Just for clarification, we can't comment on any item that's not on the agenda.
Okay.
So the fact that we're quiet during this period, don't interpret that
Fair enough.
one way or another. But hopefully our staff will get back with you.
Okay, yeah, and they have gotten back with me. I just wanted to bring it up.
You wanted to bring the issue up, yeah. There are other elementary schools that do get split at middle school. We understand that it's difficult.
I only know of the ones that are.
No, I know.
Of course. Yes, I will, of course.
That'd be great. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, moving on to discussion action items.
Before we do that, I'll make a motion to excuse Tammy Bullard tonight due to a medical condition.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much for bringing that up. Okay. Receive for annual review and/or adopt board policy 5116.1 intra-district open enrollment. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And are you moving for adoption or?
I'm moving, it's very technical, I'm moving for adoption.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Questions or? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I don't think it's changed really, no, yeah. Okay. Board Policy 5117, which is same, review and/or adopt inter-district attendance agreement, annual review.
Move adoption.
I'll second that.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. C, Board Policy 6145, extracurricular and co-curricular activities annual review. Again, this is a policy that isn't changing, but we're reviewing it. And that's Board Policy 61445.
I'll move for adoption.
Second.
All those, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
D, approve site capacities for 2015-16. This is just the capacity at each site for elementary, middle, and high school. Just FYI, I asked staff for the future to give us the number of portables at each site so that we have some sense of any future capacities. Do we have a motion for approval?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. E, Resolution 010215 of the Board of Education of Tustin Unified School District, providing for the issuance of Tustin Unified School District General Obligation Bonds or School Facilities Improvement SFID 2008-1 of the Tustin Unified School District 2008 Election Series D in the principal amount not to exceed $20 million, and prescribing the terms of the bonds and their sale, approving the forms of bonds, approve bidding documents and sale process, delegation of authority to the superintendent or designee to award the sale thereof, authorizing the execution and delivery of an official statement for the bonds, authorizing execution of certain documents and agreements in connection with the issuance of such bonds, making certain findings and determinations, rescinding Resolution 115015, and taking related actions. That's a lot of words, and I know that you'll describe that very succinctly and clearly. And this, for the audience, these are the last 20 million of Measure L, which is already designated to go primarily towards Tustin High School.
Okay. I move we pass the resolution.
I'll second that.
Sir.
We have Rob Anslow here if there's any questions. About a month ago, we came to the board with an item to have a negotiated sale. We have since changed that competitive sale, and so Rob is here to answer any questions or provide any information the board may have.
I would just ask, is there anything that you should bring to our attention?
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board, Superintendent Franklin, district staff, members of the audience. My name is Robert Anslow. I'm a partner with Bowie, Arneson, Wiles, and Giannone. We're your bond counsel for this transaction. This is really, all we've really done is convert the Series D bonds from a negotiated sale to a competitive bid. You'll see that the changes to the offering document, the preliminary official statement, are really very minor. All of the fundamental structuring, the term, the fact that we're only doing current interest bonds, we're not doing any capital appreciation bonds or anything similar, is all the same as you reviewed in November. So really all we've done is, again, restructure this to be a competitive bid process. We have representatives from RBC if you have any numbers questions. I have the documents in front of me if you have any documentation questions. If not, we would recommend approval of the resolution as presented.
Any questions?
Okay, is this the one where we're moving from, instead of asking the county to issue it on our behalf, we're going to issue it ourselves?
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay.
Great.
And I would just ask the same question that, of RBC that Francine asked of you, which is, from your point of view, what are the things you want to make sure that we as a board know before we vote?
I think the key issues is again, we're issuing only current interest bonds, not capital appreciation bonds. I'd invite Rod Carter to come up and talk about the market and where we are in terms of the bidding, which will take place later this month. But again, as GEO bond documents and issuances go, this is pretty close to vanilla. This has no exotic features in it, standard 10-year call provisions. As I said, just current interest bonds, and we're doing it through a competitive bid. Rod's firm will act as the financial advisor for this transaction. But Rod, you might want to talk a little bit about where the market's at.
Market's in a great position right now. Our economy, as you all know, is improving nicely, although geopolitical events around the world are causing consternation in the bond market. And while everybody last year thought rates were going to be much higher than they are now, they aren't. And in fact, Everyone's, again, is saying they're going to rise this year, but they continue to fall, and they have during the first 2 weeks of the year. 10-year Treasury is below 2%. The only things we don't control in a competitive sale is what the underwriter wants to charge, and we don't control the tax rate. But we have structured the bonds, so hopefully that the bids that come in will be consistent with what the kind of tax rate we want.
And I would add as an aside that the geo-refunding bonds that
Mhm.
this board approved in November will price tomorrow. It looks very favorable.
I just want to say I'm very happy that you're doing a competitive bid. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We moved and
All those,
seconded.
I
so
guess we,
Unless there's other questions.
Nothing further from me.
okay. So did someone move to adopt this? Okay.
Yes.
You're all set. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. F, thank you very much, Rod and Rob. Review of 2013-14 Annual Audit Report and Measure L and Measure S General Obligation Bond Reports. This is a review of our existing bond issuances.
Right, and we received these earlier to read and read through.
So we have Jeff Nigro here from the firm of Nigro to speak with regards to the 13-14 fiscal year audit. And so, Jeff, take it away.
Thank you, Tony. Good evening, President Shinto, members of the board. Thank you for having me here tonight. I've got some good news for you. I normally do my presentation on your audit report as briefly as possible. My goal tonight is to do it even quicker than I normally do. So, and the reason I can do that with some confidence is that there's really nothing exciting to tell you. So that's always good news. So 2013-14 audit report is a clean audit report. Unmodified opinion on the financial statements, which from previous presentations you probably know is a clean audit opinion. Financial statements are prepared in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. A lot of the rest of the audit report, pretty much, to use a term I just heard a few minutes ago, vanilla. Same financial statements. Obviously the numbers are different, but nothing earth-shattering. New funding model really shook things up in the finance world in 13-14, but as far as the audit goes, didn't, obviously helped the bottom line a little bit. But the rest of the report you've probably looked at. Same schedules, same types of financial information. Footnotes, really nothing interesting there, except I do want to point out the last footnote in the report, or one of the last footnotes, talks about GASB 68, which I think we talked about last year as well, but now that we're halfway into 2014-15 school year, this is the last year you're going to see an audit report that doesn't reflect GASB 68 in it. And for those of you who were wondering what that is, it's the new accounting standard that's going to require you to book a portion of the state's for CalSTRS and CalPERS unfunded pension obligation in your financial statements. And again, not just for school districts, this is a national accounting standard that's going to affect any government entity that offers pensions to its employees. So for school districts, that means a portion of the CalPERS and CalSTRS is going to be in your financial statements. We'll be doing a lot of work with Mr. Soria to develop that amount and get the information needed to audit that. Some districts are already going through a CalSTRS audit right now to verify some of that information. As I said, rest of the report fairly standard. The same schedules that the state controller requires are in there. Finally, the audit findings in the back of the report. Couple of findings this year, nothing really major. One of them has to do with the fact that the cafeteria fund has too much money in it. It's not a bad problem to have, but still it's one that the state has actually been out auditing districts, and so it's something that we're working with the district on and making sure that there's a plan to get that spent down. And then the other finding had to do with charging GASB 45, OPEB, post-employment benefits, costs to the fund, and after that issue was brought up, it was decided not to do that anymore. So that should be a one-time and done issue. So other than that, like I said, clean audit report. It's nice to work with the same management people every year. A lot of my clients have consistent turnover, which makes it very difficult to do the audit, and it's nice to have that. So that's it for the audit. I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Just one question about the next year. So that's just a balance sheet transaction to add a liability for
GASB
the
68, yes. It actually, technically speaking, it's not really a balance sheet issue. It's more of a government-wide statement of net position issue. So if you recall in the financials, there's your fund financial statements, which only show current assets and current liabilities. And so it's only going to be reflected in the government-wide statement of net position. And it's really just, it's frustrating to a lot of districts because it's not a liability that you have control over. It's not a liability that you're actually going to be writing a check for. It's not money that you owe to anybody. It's simply an accounting liability that has to be reflected. And it's a way for the state to, it's a way for the state to kind of shed that portion of that liability out to the employers.
I call it deflect.
Yeah.
Is it just-
It's you know, this has been an ongoing conversation. We had in our previous CBO meetings with the county, and we actually had a person from STIRS, and there was a lot of emotion built up with that. But this is STIRS and PERS sharing the state's liability on the district, and it's a reporting requirement for financial reporting in the audit. In terms of obligation to the district, there is no obligation. The state shares that they own that obligation. But our financial statements will look different. They will show a greater liability. In some instances, it may show that some districts are in a worse financial position than the reality, because you're reflecting the debt of the state obligation on our financials. But the bottom line is, it's a reporting requirement that we have to adhere to. We made our voices known to the state that it seems political, but it's an accounting transaction that we have to just basically show on our audited financial statements, not our district financial statements.
Is it in essence the
that's
amount
accurate.
of liability that we would have if the state didn't contribute
Yeah,
anything?
so the state is going to, at some point in the future, going to tell us our share of the state's overall STIRS and PERS liability, and we will have to reflect that on our financial statements.
Essentially
as an
what it
obligation.
is, if you look at CalSTRS as an overall entity, they have a certain amount of future obligations that are projected actuarially, and then they have to look at what they actually have in investments, and essentially their liabilities exceed their assets, and so that creates what they call an unfunded pension obligation. And so that number, whatever it turns out to be on their books, gets prorated out to all of the employers within their plan.
So, a question. So if there were a stock market boom and that number turned around, we would then have an asset on our books? But on either way,
That would be
right,
wishful
that's not money we could spend
No.
if it was an asset.
Oh, no,
and it's not money that we write a check for, even though it's a liability. So it
right.
really, as far as operationally, you're saying it really has
Right.
nothing operationally
Which
to
is
do
why it won't
with
be
our
reflected
operations.
in the general fund. It won't affect fund balances whatsoever. There's no liquidity in it. It's simply an accounting number, similar to your other post-employment benefit obligation for GASB 45 for retiree health care. Very similar.
I think the conversation that we've also had maybe would be in the financial markets, when they see that on the books and they look at the financial records, and they recognize that, but they also have been informed of this process and procedure. So we're just having to explain that in better light.
Right.
to
It's
our obligation.
like I said. It's cities, counties, states. They're all
We're not
dealing
alone.
with this. So all municipal, bond issuers and rating agencies are familiar with the issue as well. So.
Do we need any kind
I think
of
you just need
motion
to accept
on this? Or just
Accept the report.
Okay.
Okay.
I move we accept the audit reports as received.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And then round two?
Oh, round two. We have the facility. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So we also have conducted the audits of Measure L and Measure S, financial and performance audits that were required with the bond passages. So I'll make these even more brief. They both follow the same format. We do a financial audit by looking at the financial statements of the fund where those bond funds are deposited, and the district accounts for them in a sub-fund accounting-wise, so it's very easy to segregate the financial information for those. And both Measure L and Measure S were expressing an unmodified opinion, so again, clean opinion on the financial statements. And again, nothing really earth-shattering if you were to compare the two reports year to year. The performance audit of each is where we do most of the work, even though it's only a short portion of the report, but that's where we select samples of expenditures, looking at how the funds were spent, and that's the primary objective in the performance audit, is looking at the money that was spent in those funds, comparing it to what was approved by the voters, looking at compared to an approved project listing, and making sure that the money lines up with what you told the voters you were going to spend the money on. And in all cases, we didn't find any errors in that area, so that's always nice. We looked at other things as well. We look at the bidding process, contracting, if the district's doing lease backs, or whether they're doing traditional design bid build, all kinds of different things. We look at the formation of the oversight committee. There's a lot of things to do with the oversight committee, the membership makeup, and whether they're meeting regularly and posting their meetings online and all that. And again, districts in compliance with all that. We did have an issue on Measure S, which had to do with bid documents, and it was just a matter of not being able to locate some of the documentation. So that's mentioned as a finding there. But otherwise, clean reports for both Measure S and Measure L. And again, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on those.
Questions? Do we need to receive this separately?
Yeah, I move to receive it.
For Measure S and Measure L.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right, great. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do I have a motion for the consent calendar?
I move approval.
All
Second.
the way through. Questions, comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, any opposed? Okay, this brings us to our pupil personnel. Student number 2014-15-10, approve stipulated expulsion with conditions from all schools and programs, December 1, 2014 through June 18th, 2015.
I move approval.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Student number 2014-15-11, approve stipulated expulsion with conditions from all schools and programs of the district, December 8th, 2014 through June 18th, 2015.
Move approval.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, board member comments?
I have a comment here. I've heard about this from teachers. Helen Estock Elementary School is holding its 50th anniversary. The school opened in 1964. It's the same age as I am. And it's Friday, January 23rd at 1:30 p.m. And they're going to have guest speakers and a big party there. And they're looking for former retired Estock staff and parents and public to attend. And so for more information, call the school at 730-7390. And the other thing that I want to talk about is real quick. The hour code reminded me of something that happened to me last week in terms of just the way science has fixated some of our student population. I happened to be down visiting Mr. Feinberg, the principal of Curry and Thorman, but he took me to the robotics class. So I went into the robotics class. They have 43 minutes in that class period every day to complete a robotics kit that they're given in the beginning of the year. And they are so intensely involved in this project. There is no discipline problem. Nobody's passing notes. Nobody's throwing spit wads at each other. It's complete down to business. I basically, you have to interrupt them to ask them what they're doing. It was very, very informative to me to just see the intensity, the drive, and desire to get their projects going. And so I just think it's just awesome. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.
I'm going to use that as a segue on my comments that this Thursday after school at Curry, there is going to be the first official robotics competition. Oh, I'm sorry, Pioneer. For all the middle school teams, where they will actually go into the ring or the box, so to speak, and they will compete directly against each other. This is not a boxing match style of robotics. This is a task that they have to perform, and it's timed, and they will go head to head and go round robin, and there will be a winning robotics team. I had the opportunity to see I guess you could say a test run, so to speak, several months ago, and as James said, they are very focused, and it's just amazing what these students are in middle school are doing with a robotics kit. The other thing I want to bring up as a member of Rotary Club is that every year we have a Good Idea Awards program for teachers and other staff members in the school district. That's going on right now. We're taking those good ideas this month. I don't know the exact deadline, but I know it's before the end of the month. And a total of $3,500 is awarded to teachers and staff members whose good ideas are selected, and that money is to be used to support instructional programs and projects. And that's it for me.
On Saturday, Foothill High School, the Student Recycling Center had their day where you could bring things that needed to be shredded and pay a really discounted donation to get boxes of items shredded. And I don't know how many people know, we've talked about this before, but that's actually a student-run business where the students are actually paid for their work from the revenue that comes. And businesses can sign up to have their material that they want to have shredded removed and stored securely at the school and shredded, or people can drop by in the afternoon. They're there about every afternoon from about 3 to 5 working on that, and it's really a really good program. And then another one of my favorite programs is coming up, and that's the Astounding Inventions competition. It's at Irvine Valley College, and this year it's a week from Saturday. It's going to be on the 24th, and it involves kindergarten through 8th graders from both Tustin Unified and Irvine Unified, and you can go. There'll be over 500 total students participating, half of them from our district, and you can go from 10 to 1 on that day to see all the inventions, and then there's an award ceremony starting at 1. And admission is free and parking is free. So in the past year, we've had several student inventors be recognized and go on to even present in media forums and talk about their invention. So that's a really good, encouraging creativity and use of science and mathematics by our students. Thank you.
Just a few items. So you want to go through these? Please do.
Okay. Let me know if I'm repeating anything. I don't think I will. District-wide school tour day, 2015-16, Tuesday, February 3rd at 9 to 11 a.m. Parents have an opportunity to visit elementary grades K-5, middle 6-8, high school 9-12, and Orchard Hills schools grade 5 to 8. The tour is for the parents and for anybody else who wants to meet the school principal on the campus, tour the campus, visit the classrooms, collect information and other materials. The tours are being conducted prior to early kindergarten new student registration beginning Monday, March 2nd. For more information, look at our website. TUSD Kindergarten Roundup, parent meeting for incoming transitional kindergarten. That's called TK, also known as TK. And kindergarten students for the 2015-16 school year. That's Tuesday, February 10th, 6:30 p.m. at Red Hill Elementary School. Wednesday, February 18th from 6:30 p.m. at Thorman Elementary School. Information about school registration, immunization requirements, and other such items. And call the school call the school readiness office, 714-730-7592. And this Tustin School Management Association, TISMA, is holding its second annual Every Student Succeeding Breakfast. It was a tremendous success last year. The breakfast this year is being held Wednesday, February 18th at 7:30 a.m. at the Tustin High School Sports Pavilion. The event is inspired by the Association of California School Administrators. Every Student Succeeding Award program recognizes high school students who achieve success in the face of serious adversity. It's a very poignant breakfast, and it's something to bear witness to. TISMA and the Tustin Unified School District will recognize students from each of the elementary, middle, and high schools, with each school having submitted one student who deserves to be recognized for outstanding achievement while overcoming challenges that are social, emotional, physical, or financial in terms of adversity. The challenges may be large or small, anywhere from an adverse physical disability to an unfortunate living condition. The breakfast will be a very rewarding experience for district students and staff. And as a reminder, schools close on MLK Day. That's January 19th in honor of Martin Luther King. That's basically a holiday everywhere. That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
I second that.
Okay, so moved.
Oh,
Second.
wait a second.
Or,
We got it.
She was
Did
asking
everybody
for a
make
motion.
comment? Is
I
everybody?
didn't have a comment.
Okay.
All right.
I don't think we're closing in anyone's honor.
No. Okay, so I move to adjourn, and
Okay.
James seconds.
Okay.
All those in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
Aye.